Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, first of all, I request all those who are physically present, please come to the classroom. Mentally, be present here, and please close down your laptop, books, notebooks, phone up. You know, because for two reasons. First of all, we will learn a lot from hearing others' presentation. We will learn a lot by hearing from others. Shravanam is our first and foremost process. So therefore, and just like you would like others to hear your presentation, you have put so much of effort. So we have to also hear others' presentation. So it is very important for us. So that will be a nice caring gesture to give them a attentive ear. Will be a nice caring gesture. So please be fully present. Please keep your phone in the silent mode in your pockets or in your purses somewhere, and do not work on your presentation. Now come out of your presentation, because after the presentation we'll have at least 1 hour to fine tune whatever, and you will learn a lot by hearing this presentation. And if there are something which is lacking, that also you will come to know through the feedback. So the other presentation can be fine tuned. Fine. And as I said that, so yeah, and in case you're feeling that 1 hour may also be short, we can still extend by another 5-10 minutes. Fine. But important thing is, so let's target that now we are starting now, will be ending around, say, around 1:30, 1:35. Then take a lunch break. Uh, by 2:30, you should target to email your presentation to, so that we can have it over here. Or WhatsApp, या आपका नंबर है व्हाट्सएप में? हाँ, प्रभु जी का नंबर एक बार हाईलाइट कर दीजिए व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में, उस पे व्हाट्सएप कर दीजिए, व्हाट्सएप इसमें आ जाएगा लैपटॉप पे. ओके, सो प्रभु's नेम, प्रभु's नेम Hariputra Prabhu. So Hariputra Prabhu number is being sent in the WhatsApp group once again. So all the groups needs to mail your WhatsApp your presentation to Hariputra Prabhu before 2:30. So all the remaining 4 presentation will have in the laptop. So we save the time, changing the laptop and trying to work out. So all will be here, and then we will uh, sh- directly display from here and present from here. Fine. So uh, the presentation, remember, is 20 minutes. Please carefully listen. 2 minutes for the first part, what? 8 minutes for why, which has 4 subparts. Then who, 2 minutes. And how, strategic plan, 8 minutes. So this total 20 minutes. Keep a, those who are presenting, please note your time and keep a watch over the time. Keep an eye over this stopwatch. देख रहे हैं हरे कृष्णा, यहाँ पे एक वॉच रहेगा कि 20 मिनट कितना मिनट हो गया. So please do not exceed time and please stick to the time. Especially short analysis has many points. Don't explain all the points. Don't go into katha mode. Huh? So keep your explanation very crisp. Sometimes the case study, you may narrate the case study in 5 minutes of with 1 step out of 6 step of strategic plan. Case study, negative positive case study in why. You may start telling story and 5-7 minutes may go. That is very critical. So don't narrate long stories, very short. Don't explain all the points of the SWOT. Just highlight few, and you should be self-explanatory. You just highlight few and go ahead. Also, avoid facing your back and reading. You may glance at the laptop, but speak to the audience while keeping eye contact with the audience. And who are the audience? You are, remember, you are presenting this to the leaders for approval. So your audience are the temple leadership council. So for approval, you are presenting that we are prepared this devotee care plan. If your approval is there, we can put into implementation. So remember that. Okay. Also, after 20 minutes presentation, we'll have 10-minute question answers. So ask good questions. Uh, Not too much of managerial questions. I will not encourage too much of managerial question के फंड कैसे आएगा, लोग रेडी नहीं होंगे, so management, don't make it like a management meeting, but related to devotee care in general, in devotee care. Okay, what about we don't see this particular value, you know, amongst the devotees. Have you thought of this? How will this value be imbibed? Or this principle is important. Have you highlighted that? What we have been learning, and so on and so forth. So show your devotee care learning rather than managerial questions. So avoid managerial questions. Have questions related to devotee care. And yes, so we keep an eye over the time. And Sham Kupesh Prabhu is also keeping the time. He will, because we may become absorbed in the presentation and lose eye over the time. So therefore, he will remind you through sound. It's like, Prabhupada says, so he will ring a kartal at when 15 minutes are over. That means now you have 5 minutes to complete your presentation. So now you have to maybe increase the speed, restrict your explanation. And second bell he will ring at 18 minutes. Now that means 2 minutes are remaining. Then quickly run through the remaining slides, complete it basically. And then finally 20 minutes, your time is over. Then you are expected to stop. Still something is remaining. Then you just rush it through, but don't exceed the timing, or as I said, in case of emergency, 1 or 2 minutes are acceptable, but not beyond that. Please be mindful of timing, and it is important to start on time so that we can also complete on time all the presentation. It's a learning experience, right? So therefore, even if there are few things we could not cover, that's fine. It's a learning experience for us, right? But keeping the timing is important. Any questions before we start? If you finish before time, okay, never mind. Then take more questions. We have 10 minutes for question answers, and the 10 minutes uh, facilitators feedback. I'll give the feedback on how effective your presentation has been. Fine. Okay, so we'll like to convey our best wishes to the team by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Also, we'll just do the short invocation prayer so that all the teams, then for all the teams we are doing, for all the presentations together. Right? Again, time constraint. अब आगे यहाँ invocation करोगे तो another 4-5 minutes will go. So let's do for all the presentation. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च परिदानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा. ओके.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So first of all, so we are very fortunate here to present our devotee care plan for the Grihastha community devotees for their spiritual care. Hare Krishna, for their spiritual care. So basically, we first of all we try to understand what is the devotee care. So devotee care is nothing but when every devotee is spiritually happy and materially well situated and positively identify ISKCON as a caring society. So that is the our primary vision for this devotee care system. And so for this activity, every devotee is responsible to look after uh, her own diverse, his or her own diverse needs. And also he can also successfully seek qualified person to get the help and also extend the same help to other devotee. So that is the basic goal of this devotee care activity. And so we'll try to understand what is the devotee care. So where devotee care is nothing but when we strive to ensure that Vaishnava virtue and care prevails between all among the devotees, and they support and provide a specific care services and enhance the spiritual, emotional, and physical and social well-being for all the members of ISKCON society. So that is our mission. And in our presentation, so we have chosen the key area as a Grihastha community devotees, and in which specifically we have choose the spiritual life, how to provide the spiritual care for the Grihastha devotees, and in which in our presentation will be providing how the sadhana, how the training, and how the services related education has to be provided to the congregation devotee so that they can effectively and enhancedly engage and properly render their services. So that is our key area. So now I would like to request Aniruddha Chandra Prabhu for presenting the next presentation related to why the devotee care is required.
Hare Krishna. So the principles of devotee care, by the caring the devotees, we can relate the, we can uh, increase the and loving affairs, loving, we can say the lovingly relationship we can increase, and we can have a Vaishnav seva. We can do the Vaishnav seva also if we caring someone. So that is one type of seva we can say, and a positive sense of belonging. We can improve that quality in the ours. And reason of lacking congregation care. So right now in our temple, what we see, there is no evaluation, any algorithm or metrics we have. Okay, how we can evaluate okay, this devotee or when Grihastha family, he's increasing his devotion practice. He's going ahead with going ahead for the love of the God to achieve the love of God. So this system currently we don't have any system for evolution. Okay, no, he's now we can say for any devotees. Initially, he's coming for a Sunday program, but slowly he increases and he comes for the Mangala Aarti. He's coming for every morning program. So this system, particularly algorithmically, we don't have any system. So we'll try to revive that. And why is Grahastha care important? Because in any temple, if in not in our Radha Rasbai temple, Jew temple, anywhere in ISKCON over the world, we can see that 95% of ISKCON, all the congregation devotees who comes to the temple and who serve. So reflection of a temple, we can say, if some temple is flourishing, its temple is increasing. So how we can see there is two parameters: how the congregation program is happening over there, and how much brahmacharis are joining in temple. So these two parameters we can see. A temple can be well managed by the huge strength of Grahastha devotee, also giving them engagements. So we have different services in temple. So Grahasthas only, some temples we can see Grahasthas maintaining the temple. Maybe the pujaris, they are doing the pujari seva, some Grahasthas are contributing. But mainly the wealth, we can say, the donations comes from where? So Grahasthas who contribute and temple runs. So this is what. And why is Grahastha care important? So there is one Srila Prabhupada's quote. Grahastha is also ashram. Grahastha is also ashram, we know. And it is a good as sannyas ashram. You can accept any ashram situated for you. But ashram means cultivating or spiritual knowledge. So, four Varna, four ashram we know. So, Prabhupada has also emphasized that the Grihastha ashram is more important. The reason for I'm going to share my personal experience that what happened and when the leader leaves. So, uh, I wanted to personally wanted to share because last 20 years I'm in temple and I won't take any name, but who's very old devotee, they can relate that. We in congregation leader, we were having a very big leader who's heading the congregation, but in 2007 he left the ISKCON. Who was the leader of ISKCON Juhu, who was heading the ISKCON Juhu congregation. But somehow the other he left ISKCON, and I know that time how the all the congregations were suffering for getting leadership, and they were not having any good program at that time. ISKCON Juhu was not having any program, good program, Sunday program happening. No particularly good seva was happening. So he was the leader, and he left ISKCON, not the temple. So why he left? Because of some lacking of care, some negligence from the somewhere. I don't want to take any name, but this is a problem. Whole the if leader leaves, the whole society, not society, but congregation, devotees also suffers. So we have to take care of each and every devotee as per their need. What we have learned in last 2 days, because sometimes we feel that no, we are right, but Prabhuji said we have to see as per their perspectives, and somewhere we are lacking in that, and because maybe because of this happened maybe. And personal experience I want to share about good positive care. uh, I got married in 2006. Before 2005 I was engaged with someone, and before the 15 days before, my marriage was broken. It didn't happen 15 days before. So there was one devotee in between intermediate. He informed to Guru Maharaj. He informed to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who that time he was in Delhi, and Maharaj immediately called me. He said, Anirudh, you come to Delhi. He didn't ask me anything, how, when, why this happened, everything. You just come to Delhi. And I said, okay, Maharaj, I'll come. And when I went to Delhi, he gave me 15 days association. I was roaming with him. I was going Chandigarh. I went to Chandigarh, Vrindavan every time. With 15 days, Maharaj kept me with him because, I may go in, in a bad state. And he gave me the association. And because of that, maybe I'm here in front of you and presenting right now. And I'm continuing my devotion. So there was a need, what Maharaj understood that, this boy, that time I was boy. So this boy needs it. This boy needs a taken care, well taken care. And he gave me the instruction, you just come to Delhi. He just come to Delhi. And I know how you will come. Maharaj told me how you will come. No, Maharaj, I'll come. You take a flight and come. You take a flight and come. And there was one Mataji, maybe somebody knows Madan Mohini Mataji. At that time, she sponsored me Air Sahara, going and coming back, return flight ticket. He said, Anirudh, मुझे ऐसे भी तुझे देना ही था. ये दे देता हूँ तुझे, because we were serving together for Maharaj. She was cooking for Maharaj. You must be knowing her. किसी ने देखा होगा उनको, but now she has left her body 2 years back. So she told me that I'll sponsor your ticket. मुझे तुझे ऐसे भी देना ही था, तो ये तुम्हारा हो गया. So this is what the care Maharaj gave. This is a example that why we have to care taken for the grahasthas. This is most important, because of this some small reason, uh, grahasthas or any congregation devotee or any devotees, they leave if their emotional, we can say, the care we don't take, is this a problem. So that's what. Thank you. And the next presentation, how, who will be taken by care by.
Uh, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Anirudh Prabhuji, for narrating such a nice pastime with
His name is Gopalkrishna Goswami Maharaj, and this kind of incident really, nourish our, enthusiasm that which we are seeking for all the time. So leadership roles, yeah. So who's going to take care of like uh, Prabhuji mentioned that is like someone has to take the responsibility, right? So who's going to take care of this kind of responsibility? So I feel the leaders, who can able to truly care for others, who can able to work courageously or maybe like collaboratively and could able to devote their time without self interest, who can able to allocate the resources like as I said, a time or staff or even sometimes the finances in like some of the temple that it may not be possible for even temple to also sponsor this kind of courses which we are having right now, right? So it is always welcome from such a devotees that who can able to arrange the finance also for this kind of courses, and also who can have a good knowledge about caring, or like maybe that who has undergone like such a practices, who can able to care for the devotee and who can able to give the training to the others how to take care of it. So that's it for my end. So I think next slide, how it's going to happen. So Path Prabhu will present it. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, so this is Grihastha, taking care of Grihasthas, and particularly where you're pointing out to spiritual care of the Grihasthas. So we have a Grihastha care committee, which will most likely comprise of the Grihastha leaders. As Prabhuji was saying, that they need to be someone who have actually also undergone training as to how to take care of devotees, and particularly now we are going to be focusing on spiritual care. So this is a vision statement. Shri Shri Radharasbihari Temple has a well-knit congregation with strong sadhana who are enthusiastically engaged in services and are spiritually knowledgeable. So if you carefully see, we are actually trying to highlight four different things here. One is that it's well-knit society or congregation, which means that they are very well connected to each other, and that primarily will be addressed through good communication. So we're going to come to that in a while. And then we have strong sadhana. So we will plan to have some, like we are having this kind of a seminar and workshop. So we plan to have regular such workshops and seminars for the Grihastha community, which will help them strengthen in these areas as sadhana. And also one common thing that when we all spoke came across was that Grihastha members, we have a huge congregation. There are so many groups and devotees do come to the temple. But one thing that is lacking is being able to engage in some service, or we offering them enough services. So they come, they attend the classes, they hear, but then we don't have enough to offer to them in terms of engagement. And unless a community is engaged, they don't feel or have a sense of belonging to that particular community. So this is another area where we are going to try and address, which is to have sufficient engagements for devotees, whether it's in temple through temple services or maybe outside. But they should be well engaged. And again, spiritually knowledgeable, this will be also addressed through regular seminars. So this is a SWOT analysis that we did. Some of the strengths that our temple has is we have a good infrastructure. We have so many wonderful rooms here where we know that during weekends, all of the rooms are particularly occupied. So we have a good infrastructure. We have a very beautiful temple. An attraction for any outsider coming to our temple is the beautiful darshan, the beautiful aartis. During festivals, we have such beautiful decorations. It's probably unmatched anywhere in the world. So that's to our good advantage that when we have congregation coming from outside, new people coming from outside, this is something that we already possess. So it's not very difficult to attract them to the temple or the activities or the festivals that we have here. So that is to our advantage. Then we have a good large congregation, and we also have many senior devotees in the temple residing over the years. So that's the strengths. Weaknesses, we have there are few that we identified. Of them we have just listed one or two here. There is a lack of communication we felt in terms of devotees not receiving regular updates as to maybe who is giving Bhagavatam class. Sometimes there are senior devotees, sannyasis visiting temple, but there is no communication that happens even to the leaders. So how would they then relay to their members? So this communication gap is something that we hope to address and close. Then there is lack of systematic training for Grihasthas. Like I said, this kind of workshops and seminars could happen more regularly. And the third we saw is a lack of cooperation between leaders also. So we know that over a period of so many years, the temple has grown very nicely, and there are many, many more devotees than there used to be years ago. But this has also, of course, led to many groups of devotees preaching. But something that we don't see is that the groups coming together. Like this is one such workshop that probably after 15 years or so, I have met some devotees whom I used to serve along with maybe 15 years ago. So this has not happened. That means for so many years. So this is something that we can try and again address, where devotees of different congregation groups come together and have common programs maybe once in a year. We'll present that also. There are opportunities. We have very frequently Srila Prabhupada disciples visiting here, many other senior devotees who visit here. That again is a very big boon for all congregation members, because to get association of Prabhupada disciples is rare. Jew is one such temple where there are so many devotees who visit. But again, we are not able to probably harness that, take good advantage of Prabhupada disciples here. To associate one Prabhupada disciple and hear from them, you can compare to years of training by other devotees, because they've personally experienced and been with Prabhupada. So the impact that they have on us is a lot more. So we can of course take that is also an advantage to us. Some threats. So in a city life like Mumbai, we have distractions, of course. Everyone is living a very fast-paced life. Congregation members often, return back home, particularly the men who are working, return back home late in the nights. And to expect them to have a good sadhana, a good regulated life, is a challenge. And of course, there are so many distractions. When they go outside and working in their offices, there are distractions from other people, peers, bad association. And that becomes, again, one of the points where congregation becomes weak in practicing their daily devotional practices. Okay, I'll go quickly. So there are a few key result analysis that we have, a couple of them actually. Well-informed Grihastha community through communication about temple. So this is what we hope to achieve, that Grihastha community is well informed of everything that's happening. And then there'll be regular training programs for the devotees as well. So how do we achieve this? So the goal is to create a WhatsApp community for ISKCON Juhu congregation with a centralized database. Now, a centralized database would here mean that all congregation members across all groups, their data is centrally stored. Like Anil Prabhu was mentioning that we had one incident many years ago, a leader left. And so he was telling me the importance of why we should have a database, because if in such a scenario where there is a leader who leaves, what happens to the entire congregation that he had built over the years? So they are clueless and there is no one to take care of them. So in such events, having a centralized database would also be helpful, and that will also give us a good way of analyzing and seeing how different groups are doing. So this will not be very difficult to get, provided all leaders share the data with us, maybe through a Google form. This can happen very fast. Then we also plan to have regular training programs for congregation devotees. Again, this will be something that the congregation care committee can come together and decide on how and when often. So there could be different themes that we could address. It could be maybe navigating life in a city, and then maybe some special speaker who can come and then address these issues. Or it could be sadhana. It could be even instrument learning for Grihasthas. We can have 2-day workshop. So devotees very often are interested in these things, but they don't have an opportunity all the time. So these are just few examples. There could be many more workshops that could have that could happen regularly, and then this could be for all congregation members across the groups. 2 minutes, please. Uh, so, in order for all this to happen, we would need the congregation leaders, the members of the congregation care committee, to meet once every month. So this is one thing that we plan to have. And then, apart from this, to have an annual sangha of all congregation members of ISKCON Juhu. So, of course, each group has their own yatras, surely 4 5 days, and we go to Vrindavan, Mayapur, or any other place. But it'll be nice to also have maybe, if not a few days, even one day, all ISKCON Juhu devotees go to maybe Talashri and then come back. So there, all devotees come together. That'll be a good unifying experience. So some challenges that we faced or we may face in unwillingness to share data when congregation members are asked to share their data. So maybe educating the leaders about the importance of sharing data. Difficulty in bringing all congregation members together for the monthly meetings. This could be a possibility. So we can pre-plan and possibly introduce online meetings also. Sorry, the second one was difficulty in bringing all congregation leaders to execute these plans. So, of course, this will be a challenge to have everyone on the same page, understanding the importance of why we need Grihastha training across all congregations. So we realize that, as congregation leaders also, sometimes we may be limited in how much we can actually give to our members. So through these programs, seminars that we may have senior devotees who will come in and then address those issues. And identifying suitable scheduling for annual yatra. This again we could pre-plan and tell everyone in advance, all congregation leaders, and this will therefore be addressed. We can have maybe 1 day, 2 days, but everyone can come together. So how do we evaluate whether things are successfully in place? Is the communication well managed? So we'll probably take a survey and understand from congregation devotees if they are getting regular updates of different events, festivals, different senior devotees who are coming, visiting the temple. How many training programs were organized? So this is another way. So we may plan that we want to do a lot of 2, 3, 4 training programs in the year, whether that actually is accomplished or not, and whether the annual sangha happened or not. So this is another way we could evaluate, and whether the monthly meetings of leaders is happening or not. And if it's happening, then the goals that they set for each meeting, are they being accomplished or not? There is another way we can actually see and evaluate if things are in order. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any questions to all of us?
Hare Krishna. Yes. So questions. Questions are most welcome.
It's just a side thing. I just felt that the strengths, I mean, the opportunities which you presented should actually be the strengths. I mean, it's just a small technical thing, but then it's like internal, external, so on.
So opportunities are external.
Fine. I'll comment upon that during my feedback. Yes.
So it's not about the first one, second one, correct? So the third one, I guess. So the who was not properly defined actually. Who will take care of which services, the concern you raised, but who will take care of? Who is the point of contact for it? That doesn't mention, very not clear, not any deadline was given. How it will be done, that is latter part, but the person is not identified.
Actually, in who, no, page number 24, we have to take some point. This here, who means over here that leadership, what support we need from the leadership. Page 24. For this slide, who identify what kind of support you need from the leadership, basically. Page number 24, we have to identify some points out of 21 attributes of caring leaders. Select some and elaborate upon it. Like say, in who, if you want them, empower individuals, right? Empower some individuals for decision making in their creativity, like that. Yeah? Something like, so what, to support your devotee care proposal, some support you need from the leadership. So from page 24, student handbook, I think soft copy, or no, you have the hard copy also. From there, we select 2 or 3 most relevant point and then just elaborate upon that. Fine. So for those who are going to make the next presentation. Yeah, but this is bit vague over here. That's okay. But he explained, he read through that, said the leaders who will allocate resources, who will promote, support training education. So what he spoke was not consistent with what the slide is, but he did speak out what is required to be spoken. Samdarshi Prabhu. Yes. Okay. Something else? Any other question to the team? Yes, Prabhu.
In challenges, there could be one challenge in that if we create one such single group, anybody can post anything and they may ask donation or they may set track. So many things can happen.
So the idea was, yeah, we had discussed this, that if we are having a central database, it is of course a very sensitive thing. We cannot just, or anyone cannot just put or publish anything there. So there will be no communication as such to the members themselves. What we plan to do is to communicate to the leaders, and then the leaders will in turn relay the message to their members. So in that way, at least the gap that was there, that there is no information being received by the leaders themselves, will be addressed. The idea is to address that, but the data of all congregation members, one such reason to have that was like the example we stated, that if the leader leaves or something happens. So, and also we can have an assessment of how well each group is doing. The idea is not to communicate to the members directly. That is not what we are trying to do. We are trying to communicate to the leaders. All communication is to the leaders.
Hare Krishna. So as far as I understand, or what I have experienced here, or what I have seen rather, so there has been what recommendation we have given, creating groups or maintaining database. I think it used to happen in what point of time, but then it got disconnected or due to some reasons. Whether those reasons has been identified, what has led to that discontinuation of information of Bhagavatam class, or not having the seminar, or not, whatever difficulties you express, that was not there at one point of time, but it gradually grown up to those difficulties from a very well established system to a disintegrated system. So what has led, whether we have focused on that, discussed on that aspect also?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we'll take that. Certainly, probably some systems have followed in the past, and they probably fell apart over a period of time. So we can identify the challenges faced there, and then we can keep that in mind while we try and implement.
Like from this PPT, we can see that one plan may not work for all. They are trying to make a common system for all, but there can be a smaller plans for the individual groups that can be like one generic plan for all the community of Grihastha may not, like, because the dynamics is very
So-
different from Ville Parle to Central Coast to Khar.
So the idea is that we are having monthly meetings of the leaders, and that is where all of these things will be addressed as to the needs of different groups. And if there are some things that come up common across groups, then why not provide that? It could be as simple as having training for Kirtan. It's something probably that all congregation members would want to, learn. So if there is a maybe 2-day workshop on Kartal, Mridanga sessions, harmonium, so I think there'll be members across all congregation groups interested in that. This is one example. There could be other things. Like this is one thing where we have all come. It's not that we are making a plan for all the groups for all how to do preaching, but identifying certain core areas where all groups may feel the need for, only those things could be at least held, in a common way. That also brings about a more cooperating spirit between the leaders, and it shows us as a big family of devotees who are always working together also. So
I want to just add one thing here. So specifically this plan we have prepared mainly for 3 things. First, for improvising the sadhana of the devotees. and increasing their training related to shastras, and third related to like giving them proper opportunities for services. So basically whatever courses we'll be having, so that courses GCC committee will decide, and it will not be compulsory for everyone, because in congregation devotees also there are different devotees, they are in different levels. Then at least we'll prepare a courses, and we'll have that courses, and we'll share that information with the congregation leader. Then congregation leaders, they will suggest to their group members based on their levels, so which course is suitable for whom. But at least that facility will be there, that course will be there. Then based on the needs, everybody can choose, leader can choose, okay, so certain section of people from uh, my group, they need this kind of course, and then he can guide them to take that courses. It is not compulsory for everyone. We are not deciding the single plan for everyone. So we'll have a courses, but it will be like on the congregation leader will decide which
Just
course. Okay, good.
just
Yeah.
just uh, just to add, so we are all, or many of us are in charge of some congregation groups. The idea behind this was to first identify what are the gaps in our own congregation preaching, what are the things that we feel are missing and which we are not able to do as individual groups, and from there we come up to trying to provide something that is missing everywhere. So it's not to replace what we are doing already, but it's only to address whatever is each group feels that okay, there's something that they are missing.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Yes, so thank you for making this nice presentation. Uh, give me this one pointer. Prabhu's name who made the first presentation first. Vrindavan. Oh, okay, Vrindavan Gopal. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, so I'm just going through the presentation for you all. Sit down, all of you sit down, sit down. Okay, so yeah, these slides are common to all. What? And yes, Vrindavan Gopal Prabhu, he nicely paraphrased the vision and the mission statement. But we could just mention that, okay, here is a vision for devotee care found by the GBC Committee of Devotee Care, which applies to all over the ISKCON. And in order to achieve the vision, we have a mission. So like we can show the connection between the two, and mission is related to two aspects of care and so on. So this part is covered nicely by Vrindavan Gopal Prabhu, and then he invited. That's very important. You invite the next presenter by the name. So now I request Anirudh Chandra Prabhu to make next part of the presentation. So that will be very good. So that's one of the presentation skill also. By name, you invite the next presenter to make the presentation. So Vrindavan Gopal Prabhu did that very nicely. And then Anuj Prabhu presented the why part. Why started with the over here. Why is devotee care important? So out of 6 principles, now when you talk of why, you can say, okay, yes, this is actually Vaishnav Seva, which applies to all actually in one sense. This particular principle applies to all. We want to enhance a loving relationship between Grihasthas and have them a positive sense of belonging to ISKCON group. This is like how you explain, right? Your here, attentive listening do not apply so much here. Attentive listening is mainly for emotional healthcare. We are talking about spiritual healthcare. Is attentive listening. Oh, Shravanam is there, of course, but this is like listening to someone's emotions, as we discussed. So we want to highlight, though all principles are applicable, but we want to emphasize the main ones. So therefore, Vaishnav Seva, loving relationship, and positive sense of belonging would be appropriate. You could say, okay, we also want the Grihastha to be leaders also. So that way, fine. So this is why part, and reason for lack of congregation care are to be identified from page 20. There are 21 reasons for lack of devotee care that have been identified. Pan is gone. So out of that, we need to identify 1 or 2 reasons which apply for lack of this kind of care. So I think it's there here in reason. If you see, Uh, where is that? Yeah, reason 9. Reason 9 says few developed social system and structure, and there is no valuation, and here is no valuation of current system. Actually, it is in line with. I don't know whether it was intentional or unintentional sometime. Right? But if you see, so therefore, but I'm just telling that when you put some reason for lack of this care, it has to be taken from page 20 and see which reasons are applicable, and then just briefly explain. So one or two or three reasons uh, identify. Um, could also be there could be more than one, but fine, at least one is well identified, I would say. Then we go, why is Grihastha care important? There are four sections in this. There are four, this has to be in four parts. Page number 40. Page number 40 describes. It has four parts. So the first one is 21 reasons and 12 principal values. The next is the Shastra. We want something from scriptures that if Grihasthas are cared for, uh, is there any place in the scripture specifically the Grihastha care is mentioned or indicated? Huh? Encouraging Srivas Thakur. He was a Grihastha even when Chaitanya Babu was a child. But any fine, what exactly encouragement he had? He shows Grihastha care to Srivas Thakur. What encouraging? Okay, how you maintain your family? But of course, he said, I can't go out for work and then Lord Chaitanya maintain his family. Any other example of Grihastha care from the scriptures? Yes. Okay.
So after passing the river, so he was rewarding by giving something to the devotee.
Okay.
So to just to keep his household activities ongoing.
Okay, to the boatman.
Yeah, boatman.
Okay. Okay.
Kevat.
So, also Kevat, he gave certain things to him. He being a householder. Okay. Okay. Fine. So anyway, there is a description of even. Sorry. Yeah, Gopal Goswami parents. Yeah, he says that you take care of your devotee parents, and only after they go back to Godhead, then you go to Vrindavan. So take care of your parents. Sorry. Both Gopal Bhatta and Raghunath Bhatta. Both actually, both were instructed by Lord Chaitanya to take care of, because both had devotee parents, to take care of your parents, and with their blessings, then you should come to Vrindavan. Huh? No, he's the ideal Grihastha life, but I'm talking Grihastha care. Okay, Sudama comes to Krishna. Krishna provides, for Sudama. Okay. So anyway, so from scriptures, it's expected that you show something from the scriptures about something about Grihastha care. So that's the second part. Uh, and see, most of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya were Grihasthas. And most devotees of Lord Chaitanya were Grihasthas. Many of our acharyas. Among the 12 Mahajanas, 7 are Grihasthas. Right? 5 are brahmachari. So like that. So you can have certain scriptural references on that. Then I'm not sure if there is a professional theory over here somewhere. The Prabhupada quote is good. This is very good quote. Prabhupada says Grihastha ashram is as good as sannyas ashram. It's a very powerful, impactful quote. So that's very good selected quote. There is professional theory is missing. In professional theory, it will be not called Grihastha ashram, but household family. Householders, they maintain other ashramas. Of all the 4, the Grihasthas maintain the 3. So caring for them is important. Prabhupada empowering Grihastha couples to lead the yatras, right? 3 Grihastha couples. So So what Prabhupada Grihastha three couples have done, the sannyasis could not do. You see that when Grihasthas are empowered and cared for, what was done by the three Grihastha couples in London was not achieved by even the sannyasis sent by Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur. So these are some of the scriptural quotes which shows the importance of nurturing Grihasthas, empowering them spiritually, and how much they can achieve. Right? So all these things add up to the conviction. Yep, the shared experience were good, impactful. Both of them were nice shared experience, both negative and positive. And this was even more heart touching for everyone. Yeah. Personal experience, we can say personal experience of any other person, but Prabhu shared his own personal experience. That's good. And then who part? Okay, we already discussed this. How strategic plan is well thought over here. A well-formed vision uh, for the Grihasthas. Then well-defined SWOT analysis. Only thing is we don't have to explain all points. We lost some of the time which we should invest in key result area and goal. We should not rush there. This can be little quicker. Just like say frequent visits of Prabhupada disciples, their movement association is very valuable. You could say that and go to next. So here some time should be saved. Don't explain each point in detail. Just touch upon the key points and a crisp explanation because there are so many points. There are 10, 12 points. So when you spend half a minute on each, you spend 6, 7 minutes out of. Okay? So therefore, please remember for all the groups, you don't have to explain all the points. Some of the points are self-explanatory. You just say, so among the opportunities we have valuable association of Prabhupada disciples, so many of them visit here. Go ahead. Okay? It's quite self-explanatory, certain things. So keep the explanation limited to few points and crisp. This is my um, input for all the groups who are going to make the subsequent presentation. Okay, yeah. So the opportunities are external. So we can see this. If you put this in the strength also is not incorrect. Why? Or opportunity is also fine over here. Why? Because they are visiting ISKCON Juhu from other ISKCONs. So organizational means ISKCON Juhu in the immediate sense. We are talking of which is strength of ISKCON Juhu. And outside of our organization, they are visiting from other ISKCON centers. That also we can be taken as environmental opportunities. So that's fine. So these points, even if someone say they are strength, they are not wrong. So we can say, okay, they're part of our broader ISKCON organization. So we widen the definition of ISKCON over there. Fine. Yes. So SWOT analysis, as I said, is quite well thought, well done, and just that it needs to be explained more eloquently. Key results area are also basically the first area is actually enhanced communication, and then the details are the following. And regular training programs, 2 KRAs, again well thought, and then the goals are also, I would say, well identified. And we got some good feedback that study the previous models, why they collapsed, and so on and so forth. Yes, certain here is regular training program for congregation. You could identify, like you spoke, certain kind of training like training on music, kirtan. You could identify some trainings, conduct certain trainings which will be of benefit to the entire congregation, like training on kirtans, uh, etc. Right? How to read Prabhupada books properly, etc. etc. So those kind of things could be mentioned over here. Over here, by 25th December, I feel it's too optimistic. Keep a goal which is realizable. Keep sufficient time with you because it's very short time. It's not easy to get the data from the leaders because everyone is so busy. So therefore, I request that you keep lesser goals, more time for it. So that if we say, okay, now you have the blessing. Braj Hari Prabhu is coming today evening. And he said, you have the blessings, go ahead. So you may not be able to complete in such a short time, right? To get the database leaders, it takes much longer time than expected. So on a better to, it said that better to promise or better to target little more time and complete it within rather than target very soon and then delay and so on. So that will be yeah. Also, the frequency of the training should be identified. Like over here, say we conduct certain trainings, one training, say let's 2 trainings per year. It's quite doable. It's not difficult, right? Instead of saying we'll have a training every month, suppose it's very difficult. So because something like 2 trainings, like such and such topics, we will have. So therefore, identify the frequency of the training. Now, when you set up the goal and you propose some training, identify the frequency of it, and that's true. Again, keep it realizable, keep it doable, very much doable. It should not be burdensome. Now, suppose now nothing is happening. Yes, but in few years, such a training for Grihastha has been conducted in several years. But at least if we can conduct 1 or 2 trainings in a year, that's a good progress, and that's doable also. So therefore, keep realizable goals. Smart goals are R is realizable, which can be achieved, and keep sufficient time. But the goals have been again well identified, though we need to be more specific. And yeah, so again, monthly meetings. Again, there's a regular training program, monthly meetings. If nothing is happening, then quarterly could be better to begin with. Again, I'm saying, so that it's doable. We are able to do it. The challenges, once again, the challenges are also thoughtful, unwillingness to share or unable to share rather than unwillingness, unable to share due to being. Then we educate them. Also, we take a representative who will share. The leader appoint. Okay, this person will actually do the needful, the share, rather than following with the leader. The leader to appoint a representative for database for his group, and then who has time, energy, and kind of uh, skill set in that area to be able to share. So that would be a good contingency plan. And similarly, if difficult to advertise, difficult to get someone, we educate and advertise and create awareness by advertising. Like few months before we can start advertising. If we have some kind of important seminar coming up, we put up the advertisement, and so then when the people see it few times, it's like people advertise and they create desires. So devotees can utilize, advertise, and talk about it, announce it in important festivals, Sundays at some time, and create desires also. Create, that's very important. So people understand, oh, it's being advertised, announced. So therefore, it's important training. So in this way, inform well in advance, pre-planning, educating, advertising, all these things actually help us. Okay, so and then finally the evaluation. In evaluation, if you can, again, this is, you said we will do survey and yes, and have evaluate how many trainings we are able to do. Put the numbers for the next group. Put the numbers. That means is the communication well managed? We do a survey and we target at least to first of all, in communication also we want to form a database. So we plan to cover at least 60% of the congregation uh, in next 3 months in the database. Include at least, start building up. That is evaluation. We put a target. Similarly, in trainings, effectiveness of the training, at least 2 trainings in a year. And in a survey, we want to have 7 out of 10 effectiveness, 70% effectiveness. So put some numbers. Evaluation are measurable. The goals should be measurable, smart goals measurable. Evaluation is, we put a measuring criteria over here. So those who are going to present, if you can put some numbers in terms of number of participants you want to train, number of trainings you are targeting, and effectiveness of the training through a survey, and we target as I said, that certain, just like people have ratings, 4-star and so on and so forth. So we have some rating to this. So I would say, given that this is the first presentation, this presentation has been really well thought and well presented. Correct. And yes, so Grihasthas are actually earlier when ISKCON started, most of the ISKCON was living in the temple. 90% of the ISKCON was living in the temple. Now 99% ISKCON is outside of the temple, practically, right? Grihasthas are, and with the Middle East, most of the countries I was sharing, there are no brahmacharis. Everything is done by Grihasthas. All the festival management, organization of everything, um, picking up the guests from the airport, dropping them to the airport. There is, they only do. They don't have any departments. They have department, but the Grihasthas have to volunteer. So they have a huge database, and they can try to connect who is available on this day, etc. So someone volunteers or they call up. But the whole thing is being managed by the Grihasthas in the Middle East, practically. There are no temples, there are no brahmacharis. So, but still, they have a lot of vibrant devotee communities. So in this way, the Grihasthas play a very key role, and therefore, nourishing the Grihasthas, empowering the Grihasthas is very important, and therefore this presentation is very well thoughtful. And I hope, pray, and wish that this presentation is actually, comes to life. It comes put into practice, see the day of the light, and the Grihastha community in ISKCON Juhu flourishes and are empowered more and more to serve Radharas Bihari, Srila Prabhupada, and the mission of Srila Gurudev. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, since it was the first presentation, I gave a little elaborate feedback on this, so that the next presentations are, the fine-tuned. So the expectation from next presentation is now more. Now you have seen one good presentation, you have heard the feedback also. So next presentations can be even better than this. So we will start the. You have to email the next 4 groups have to WhatsApp the presentation to Hariputra Prabhu by 2:45. Please, target 2:45, and maybe someone can, devotee care, someone can prepare the presentation while someone can feed that devotee. तुम हाथ हाथ चलाते रहो, हम तुमको खाना खिला देंगे थोड़ा. तो डिवोटी केयर इन एक्शन जो भी है, तो थोड़ा 2:45 तक टारगेट कीजिए कंप्लीट करने का. एंड we start the next presentation at sharp 3. So the next team, we have to decide upon the next team. Wait, before you break for lunch. Next team, someone to volunteer. Can someone volunteer to make the next presentation? Hare Krishna. I need one team to volunteer for the next presentation. Huh? Okay, that's okay. We can have the emotional care, but fine. So okay, so if you are not volunteering, then I would like to invite team of youth care after congregation. So youth care can do the second presentation, youth care, and after youth care we'll have the brahmachari emotional care, third. Fourth we'll have the Grihasthas emotional care, fourth, and the final presentation for the leaders, right, which is the physical care for the leaders. So please note down your. But see, once we start, you have to send the presentation by 2:45. You can't change anything. You can't work on your presentation after 2:45. So we will only going to start when we receive all the presentation. Fine. So please send your presentation to Hariputra Prabhu, and it will be on the laptop, so that we save time on changing laptop and so on and so forth. Hare Krishna. So please have your lunch. Thank you.